Our struggle is not against flesh and blood. It's against the powers of this dark world. I'm a soldier. Therefore put on the full armor of God, so you can stand your ground.
I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the
Stand your ground.
I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I got my war clothes on in the army of the Lord. I got my war clothes on in the army. I got my war clothes on in the army of the Lord. I got my war clothes on in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I got my breastplate on in the army of the Lord. I got my helmet on in the army. I got my sword and shield in the army of the Lord. His truth is marching on. Bring it on. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier.
Left, right, left. Left, left, right,
I'm a soldier.
left, right, left.
Come on now, left, 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 right, left. I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir. I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir. I may never march in the infantry, but I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir. I'm gonna fight until I die. In the army of the Lord. I'm gonna fight until I die. In the army. Oh, I'm gonna fight until I die. In the army. Oh, I'm gonna fight until I die. Oh, yeah. Soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army.
Stand your ground.
I'm a soldier.
Good morning, Calvary kids, and welcome to Children's Church Online. Due to some unforeseen circumstances, we are doing Children's Church from my house this morning, but I promise you we are still going to have a great time together as we wrap up our series on determination. Now, for the entire month, we've been talking about determination. You guys should definitely know this by now. What is determination? Determination is deciding it's worth it to finish what you started. All right, and we're going to be talking about that today. We've been talking about that all throughout the month. We've talked about Peter and John before the Sanhedrin when they told them, you can't tell other people about Jesus, but they said, we are going to continue no matter what. We are determined to tell as many people as we can about Jesus Christ. We talked about Peter and Cornelius and how Peter learned that no matter what, he needs to be willing to tell anybody who would listen, no matter who they are, no matter where they've came from. He needs to be willing and determined to tell whoever will listen about the gospel of Jesus Christ. Then we talked about how God has given us this armor so that we can be protected from the evil one because Satan is determined to stop us from telling people about Jesus. But because of the armor that God has given us, we can be determined to not give in to temptation, not to give in to sin, but to choose to honor God and to choose to obey Him and tell others about Him. Then last week we talked about the greatest reward that there will be, that when we die, we get to go to heaven. And that we need to continue to be determined to tell other people because we want them to have that relationship and be able to be with us in heaven one day. But today, we're going to look a little bit closer at our memory verse for the month. We've had a specific memory verse throughout the entire month, and it's found in Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. And we're going to look a little bit closer at that, and I'm going to tell you about this really cool guy named Saul or Paul, who we're going to be learning about today and actually throughout the entire next month, throughout the entire month of June. All right, so let's read this memory verse, though, real quick. You guys should already know this by now, but let's read it real quick. Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. It says this, "So we must not get tired of doing good, for we will reap at the proper time if we don't give up." Now, have you guys ever wanted to give up before? Has there ever been a time where you just said, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, I just want to give up? Maybe it was when you were trying to learn to ride a bicycle without training wheels. Maybe it's something at school or an activity that it's really hard and you just want to quit and give up. I know for me, one of the things that I did quit at because I couldn't get it, I finally just gave up, with skateboarding. I cannot do skateboarding. I can do bicycle, I can do scooters, I can do rollerblades, roller skates, ice skates, all that stuff. I can't do a skateboard. And I finally just said, you know what, I'm tired of falling down, and I just kind of gave up. But you know, the truth is, throughout your life, you're going to be tempted to give up on a lot of different things. Whether it's at school, whether it's at home, or wherever. You're going to be tempted to give up on a lot of different things. And what I want to encourage you guys is don't get in the habit of just giving up on things. And also, don't get in the habit of giving up on doing good things, the things you know they're the right things to do. It might be hard, it might be challenging, but you know they're the right things to do. Don't give up on doing the good things. That's what Paul is writing here in Galatians. He's saying, don't give up on doing good things. Don't give up on showing the love of Jesus. Don't give up on telling people about Jesus. Because he says there will be a great reward at the proper time. Now, who is Paul, though? Has anybody ever heard of the Apostle Paul, as sometimes he's called? Paul was not one of the disciples of Jesus. He actually, to our knowledge, he never saw Jesus when Jesus was here on earth. But he had definitely heard about him. And Paul's name actually used to be Saul. And Saul, he didn't like Jesus. He didn't like Jesus. He didn't understand Jesus. And he thought all the people that believed in Jesus were bad people. But then one day, God showed up to him in a very special way. And we're going to talk about that in a couple weeks. But God showed up to him in a very special way. And he said, Saul, I am real. I love you. I care for you. And I'm going to use you in a special way that you couldn't even imagine, Saul. And Saul was so transformed by this encounter with Jesus that he actually, one of the things he did was change his name to Paul, which is why he has two names. And Paul went all around the world telling people about Jesus Christ. But here's the thing about Paul. If anybody had the chance to say, you know what, this is getting too hard, I just want to give up. If anybody had the right to just give up and say, you know what, I'm done. I've done my part. I'm just going to give up. It's gotten too hard. That would be the Apostle Paul. Because Paul went through a ton of crazy bad things that happened to him. Paul had some of his friends betray him. He had people that hated him. He had people that wanted to kill him. Paul was thrown into prison for crimes that he didn't commit. He was beaten up by people that didn't want to hear about Jesus. They beat him up and then they threw him outside of the city. People wouldn't let him into their homes. Paul was arrested for things he didn't do. He was put on trial for things that he didn't do. Paul actually had a shipwreck one time. He was sailing to a trial that he didn't do anything wrong, but he was having to go to this trial to tell the judge that he didn't do anything wrong. And while he was traveling there, he encountered this huge shipwreck. It was shipwrecked onto an island. But you know what? Paul continued to tell people about Jesus. He never gave up. Paul faced things like a snake bite. He faced sickness. But you know what? No matter what, Paul never gave up. He was determined that no matter what, he was going to tell people about Jesus Christ. Because he knew how important it was not to give up, but to continue to tell people about Jesus. And over the next month, starting next week in the month of June, we're going to be talking all about the life of the Apostle Paul. Because he was such an incredible, special guy. But here's what I want to encourage you guys to today. Don't give up. Don't give up on doing the things that you know are right. Even when people maybe make fun of you, even when people may say you're being weird, but you know that it's the right thing to do because Jesus said to do it, because your parents told you to do it. You know it's the right thing to do. Don't give up on doing those good things. And don't give up on telling people about Jesus. Paul had a bunch of people that said no. But you know what? Paul also had a bunch of people that chose to believe in Jesus Christ. He trained up a bunch of people to go out and to be preachers all around the world. He never gave up, no matter how hard things got. And I want to encourage you guys, don't give up. No matter how hard things get at school, no matter how hard things get on your sports teams, no matter how hard things get, don't give up. Be determined to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with whoever will listen. And be thinking about someone that you can maybe invite to church to come hear the gospel. We'll be back in church hopefully in a couple of weeks, Lord willing. And we're going to be doing a lot of cool things throughout the summer with the kids ministry. On Sunday mornings, we're going to have a special Calvary Kids time where it's going to be specifically for you guys. We're going to do some worship. We're going to do some games. We're going to do some activities. It's going to be a ton of fun. On Wednesday nights, we're doing our summer adventures. We had to push that back a little bit, but still be looking for those dates because we are going to do it, and it's going to be such a great time. Our first one is going to be Messy Game Night, which, if you've been listening to my hints throughout the month, we're going to do some really awesome things like a chocolate slip and slide. We're going to do stuff that involves whipped cream and shaving cream and gummy bears. And I'm going to give you guys the last clue to another one of the games that we're going to be playing. And you only get one word on this one, but you got to figure it out. The word is slime. All right, so you guys can figure out what we're going to do with that. It's going to be a ton of fun. But be thinking about maybe someone, maybe a friend, maybe someone from school that you can invite to come out to Messy Game Night or any of the summer adventures. We're going to be doing a ton of fun stuff throughout the summer, including Water Wars, Art Explosion, Nerf Night, Movie Night. We're going to have a ton of fun this summer, and I want to encourage you guys to be thinking about and inviting your friends. We are going to have a great time, but I want to encourage you guys again, don't give up. No matter what happens, no matter how hard things get, don't give up. And if you ever need anything, if you're ever going through a hard time and you need to talk to somebody, always feel free, one, to go talk to your parents. Because I promise you, they've gone through hard times too. And I promise you, they want to help you. But also, always feel free to come to me, to come to Pastor Jeff. We love you guys. We want to be there for you. And we want to help you in any way that we can. All right, now before we go, let's go over our memory verse one last time for this month before we move on to the month of June. And this is found in Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. And it says this: "So we must not get tired of doing good, for we will reap at the proper time if we don't give up." All right, let's say that together on three. Everybody together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. "So we must not get tired of doing good, for we will reap at the proper time if we don't give up. Galatians 6:9. All right, great job, you guys. We miss you guys a ton. We are looking forward to the time we can all get back together in church. I know it's been a long time. I know I haven't really gotten a chance to have some fun with you guys on a Sunday morning. It's going to be a great time when we get back. Continue to be praying for me and for all the rest of the church as we make the decisions about when and how to reopen. We really miss you guys, though, and we cannot wait to see you back. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And again, if you need anything, please let me know. Thank you guys for checking us out today, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah.